So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, Dale here from Several Games, bringing you, I'm not really too sure what to call it, whether it's a Dark Necrofear deck or a Dark Spirit deck, so I'm kind of going to go with the Dark Spirit deck profile. Now, this comes from the brand new Legendary Duelist Immortal Destiny. There's a couple of different ways you can play this deck. You can use and abuse all of the brand new support and go mega focus on the Spirit message. This version is more about the Dark Spirits and the Necrofaces and level 8 Fiends as a general kind of aspect. One thing I will mention and shout out to Joe on this one is it turns out you can actually play this deck, or mainly the Necrofear, alongside DDDs because it targets 3 of your Fiend monsters and then special summons and Let's try again. It targets 3 of your Fiend monsters that are banished, shuffles them into the deck, and then special summons itself as a level 8 Dark Fiend. It then means that you get to recycle some of your abilities. So maybe a nice little 1 of or 2 of in a DDD deck, but that's something I'm going to leave to Joe to play around with. Alternatively, what I've done with this deck, again, thanks to Rob, who kind of helped me build this, and also Ed, who looked at some of the options that we have available for us. Ed is going to focus on the Spirit Message version. This is the Dark Spirit kind of stun version as well. And what I've kind of put my own little twist on this one is I've got a bit of nostalgia in here as well, and also a couple of different options that you can play around with and cards that can be coming out quite easily. So it's just a couple of options that I've played around with, had a bit of a testing with, and this is my personal touch with the help from some of the other guys as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start the deck profile, show you exactly what we've got and how we've got it. So we start off with the main deck with the brand new monster of Cursed Necrofear. This card is awesome. So again, this came out in Legendary Duelist. Really cool card. Level 8 Fiend, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by a card effect. You can target 3 of your banished Fiend monsters, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle those banished monsters into the deck. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed in the monster zone by an opponent's card effect and sent there this turn, or by an opponent's card, sorry, and sent there this turn, special summon this card from the graveyard. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of face-up spell and trap cards you control with different names. Only use the effect once per turn. So the second effect in this build is less relevant because I've kind of gone for a more break my board or break your opponent's board turbo. In, of course, the Destiny board version, and of course Rob's pure version, he had stuff like Crackdown, there can only be 1, and kind of floodgates like that stuns your opponent on top of then bringing this guy out, or this girl out, and popping the board. We've then got the one original Necrofear just for pure nostalgia. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be first special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 Fiend monsters. You can see how these two kind of work in tandem. During your end phase, if this card was destroyed by an opponent's card effect this turn, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard while it was a monster card in your possession, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card from your graveyard to that target. While this card is equipped to that monster by this effect, take control of that monster. So you should all know what the original Necrofear does, but it's been such a long time, I thought I'd give you a refresher. We then played 3 of the brand new Dark Spirit of Malice. These are kind of like themed versions of Psy-Frames, and I really like these cards. So when your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 level 8 Fiend monster in your graveyard to special summon it. But its effects are negated. If a level 8 Fiend monster you control or monsters you control is sent to your graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. Only use each effect once per turn. We've then got triple Dark Spirit of Banishment. So if your opponent's monster attacks at the start of the damage step, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 level 8 Fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated, and if you do, change the attack target to that card and perform damage calculation. If a level 8 monster is sent from the field to the graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. Only use each effect once per turn. So a nice bit of recyclability there. Now this can be played with Dark Worlds, And this is probably one of the cards that you would take out if you don't want to commit to the Dark World engine. The reason I've got this in here is just as an additional Dark and a level 8 trading target, plus an additional Fiend. So it gives me a nice little pop effect if I choose to get rid of this off of trading as well. So I haven't put another Dark World monster in here to kind of summon this card per se. That's still an engine I'm investigating or looking into of how to properly integrate it with the deck. At the moment, like I said, this is just additional fodder, which can be taken out quite easily. We've then got 2 riding the multi-dimensional kaiju. Again, it is a kaiju, it is dark, so it can also extend to your super poly plays, and it is a fiend. So it's kind of nice to get this off of the board. The only issue is it is not a level 8. If it was, it would be insane. Now, 2 old cards I do not have yet, I have ordered them, is Archfiend Empress. Now, Archfiend Empress has only technically had 2 prints, one as a sneak peek promo and one as its original print, coming out in, once the system loads, Starstrike Blast. So they're really, really cheap to pick up, and I advise you getting them if you want to play this deck for a bit of fun. So if exactly one face-up Dark Fiend type monster on the field, except this card would be destroyed, you can remove from play 1 Dark Fiend monster from your graveyard instead. So it's a nice bit of protection there. When this card is destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you can select 1 level 6 or higher Dark Fiend monster in your graveyard, accept itself, and special summon it. So it gives you a nice additional revival. It is a level 8 and it is a dark, so there's a bit more synergy with the deck. Moving on to the final kind of extending boss monsters or extending monsters of the deck, you do have Dark Grepher and Armageddon Knight. Obviously, additional ways of getting your dark cards from your hand to the graveyard, and also from your deck to the graveyard to flood the deck so that your hand trap, technically, of your dark spirits are live. And then, of course, we do have the 3 Ash Blossoms. So if you want to take out the Grepher and go less, like I said, this is more focused about breaking my opponent's board rather than causing them issues. So I want to slow them down and stun them with the Ash. I then want to be able to send the Grepher to pop cards. And then I also want to be able to use my Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher again to clear the board off, use my Super Poly for whatever there is left, and then go in for game. We then play 3 of the brand new card. I do only have 2 at the moment. I'm waiting for the 3rd one to come in. So Dark Spirit Mastery. Discard 1 card, add 1 Destiny board or level 8 fiend monster, so this is what we're mainly using it for, is the search ability, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. Place any number of Destiny board and or Spirit Messages cards with different names from your hand or graveyard on the bottom of the deck, in any order, then draw the same number of cards. So if you do want to go focused on the Destiny board engine, you do play this a little bit more freely. This is just basically a level 8 searcher for the deck, so it can search any of your level 8 fiend monsters, and then if you've got the trading, you've got abilities to kind of push the board further from there, draw 2, set your graveyard up to move further forward. We've then got triple Allure of Darkness. It is not the end of the world banishing any of your dark monsters, because the brand new Necrofear can recycle them. If you wanted to, you could put Pot of is it Acquisitiveness in this, the one that targets 3, banish, shuffles them back in and draws 1, so you do have a lot of options, but there are quite a few draw cards in this deck. Speaking of which, we do play triple trading. We technically now at this moment in time have 9 targets, so you've got plenty of targets to be running with your trading. Triple Call by the Grave, because it can be a nice stun and protection card. Triple Super Poly, because we want to be able to break our opponent's board without them being able to respond, and our extra deck is not tight at all. There's a lot of space to play around with, as you'll soon see. We'll then finish it up with 2 Dark World Dealings and the 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Dark World Dealings can come out should you wish and not want to play the risk of letting your opponent draw a card. It does let you discard a card as well and fill your graveyard up. But the other issue with Dark World Dealings is it can be a pot of duality, because the majority of your summoning is during your opponent's turn. But because we do run the Super Poly variant, I've decided to take that out because I want to be able to break my opponent's board with my Kaijus and the Super Poly. So again, it really does come down to whether you want this to be a first turn deck. If you do, that's where you'll play like maybe the Destiny boards for a bit of stun. You can play Crackdown, the Field Spell as well, and go for that version. This is mainly a go second build. Break my opponent's board using Kaijus. You could put Nibiru in if you wanted to, but I think the Kaijus is a very, very good touch. And another option that would be really, really good to kind of play around with this deck is putting a Lair of Darkness Field Spell in. You do not need to worry so much about actually playing extenders to the Dark World, but not Dark World, sorry. Oh, brain's gone dead again. Because by using the Diablos Field Spell, you turn all of your opponent's monsters into darks, and that means your Super Poly will always be live, and that means you can also use and abuse this guy a lot more, and this guy is awesome. I love it so much. So we're going to be moving on to Lair of Darkness. There we go. My brain just all of a sudden wants to start waking up. So if we put Lair of Darkness in as a nice little side deck tech card, you can actually cause your opponent even more issues. Speaking of which, if we were to do that, your Draco's Pelio is one of your main Super Poly targets, along with double Starving Venom because we have the space for it. Double Mud Dragon just in case you play those rogue decks, but again, if you were to be playing Lair of Darkness as a side teching in, then this becomes less relevant and you probably want to go for more of your boss monsters. The best thing to remember about Draco's Pelio and of course your Venom is it is a level 8. So comboing that off with your Necrofears and stuff like that means you can actually run a heavier rank 8 engine. At the moment we don't run a big rank 8 engine, so again it comes down to your personal preference of how you want to play the deck. For the final Super Poly target, we do play the one Predaplant. I love this card, it's so good. So it requires 3 dark monsters on the field, and then it also gains the additional effect that when your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters from the extra deck, you can basically solemn warning it. So you negate the summon and destroy those monsters. So very, very cool 3k beater as well. Then I've just got the one because there's space in there for the Chimera Tech just because of the current meta right now. Super Poly can break the Orcus board alongside the Chimera Tech if they are running the Cyber Dragon version. So it does give you a couple of options that way as well. This can easily be taken out for pretty much any card you wish. For the Link monsters, we've got the one YUGIOH because pretty much the majority of our stuff is dark. The Beat Cop because it is an additional fiend. And again, the Master King Archfiend, again, another fiend that can help build up your graveyard and extend your board. If you put the Lair of Darkness in this, again, YUGIOH becomes more prominent. We've then got the one Phoenix, the one Cerberus, and the one Unicorn, again, because they are all fiends. Plus, they have additional effects of being able to discard cards from your hand to the graveyard. Also pop either special summon monsters in the main monster zone, spin any card you wish, or pop any back row you wish. We then play the one Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, because it is our... I don't feel we're ever going to get 4 monsters on board to push for one of those Link 4 boss monsters, but because most of our cards can be level 8s when they're on the board as well, being able to make a non-targetable BLS that can constantly grow its strength during your opponent's turn, and then you can also protect it with the Dark Spirits if they try to beat over it. Also, it gives you a nice little edge on top of your opponent, and so I think it's a really, really cool Link 3, but it's probably the best Link 3 boss monster if you can run level 7s or higher. And then for the one XYZ, I've chosen to go with number 68, the Sky Prison, purely because it gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in the graveyard. So you're going to be filling up your graveyard in general, and then you can detach one material from this card until the end of the turn. Your opponent's next turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effect, and neither player can special summon from the graveyard. So you've got to be very, very careful when you play this, but it's still become a very, very nice beater and a rank 8. Your other options, of course, do include Harbinger as well, and you can also play Zombie Stein. So it comes down to if you want to go more rank 8 focused. If you do, I advise putting in stuff like Lair of Darkness, Diablos and stuff like that. Otherwise, again, like I said, this is more a Super Poly, break your opponent's board. You could put Extravagance in there if you want, but I think Trade-In is so much stronger, and I don't really want to lose the ability of Allure, so I can get more draw cards into the deck without relying on the pot of Extravagance, which is why I've gone down that route as well. So that is it for the Dark Necrofear, Dark Spirit deck profile. I hope this has given a couple of ideas on your own build. Like I said, there's a lot of variation with this deck. You've got the Spirit Message version, you've also got the Stun version with the back row of just general crackdown, summon limits and floodgates that Rob has kind of put together. And then like I said, the Spirit Messages that Ed's put together, which can include the brand new trap card as well. So there's a lot to play around with this deck, which is what I love, the versatility about it. And as soon as I kind of read the Dark Spirits and how the Necroface kind of works with everything else, Necrofear, sorry, kind of works with everything else, it was a nice little touch that I thought I'd give it a go at building and have a bit of fun with it. And that's exactly what I've done. On top of that, like I said, I'm going to, a little sneaky mention to Joe. I haven't mentioned this to him yet, so I hope he's going to watch the video and find out. But you can actually use and abuse, definitely the new one, in DDDs to kind of maintain some of your resources and get another level 8 beater on board, which can go into your rank 8. Obviously, it can't go into Kali Yuga because it requires 2 DDDs, but it can help you extend your board nicely with additional fiends as well. So, I hope you like this. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. If you do have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Like I said, all the profiles are work in progress, and it's kind of nice to play around with the Dark Spirits as well. I'm not the biggest Bakura fan, that is where Ed comes into it. So, yeah, it's definitely nice to see the new Necrofear. I really like it, and I definitely like the new Predaplan as well. It's one of my favourite cards that came out of the new set, apart from, of course, the Evil Heroes. But stay tuned, because we will be having a lot more profiles coming up for you guys, coming from Legendary Duelist. Like I said, we did Evil Heroes yesterday, we've done Dark Spirits today. Coming after that, we do have Earthbound Immortals, we also have Gimmick Puppets, and of course Predaplants. So we will try and get all of those up for you. Not to mention, if you want to see the Destiny board version of this, again, give it a big thumbs up. Show us that you like this video, and we'll be more than happy to do the other video as well. The exact same with the Evil Heroes. There's a lot of variation going around, and I want to try and show the ones that aren't getting as much showcase time as the rest. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, happy dueling. What's up, YouTube? Dad here with All Games. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always, guys, happy dueling.